Hey, good morning, everybody. It's been about 2 or 3 mornings I haven't been able to do our broadcast, so thanks for being here today. Let's go ahead and jump back. We've missed out on a review for the last 4 mornings, I believe, last Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday of this week. So I'm going to just go ahead and bring us back to last Thursday and just take a look at some of the notable rotations. I'm not going to go piece by piece. So let's go back to Thursday, which was the 2nd, May 2nd. And I just want to take a look at some of these. Well, first of all, I do want to point out, and I think I mentioned it last week, that we had a couple areas up above us here as market was kind of finding support. Remember this back on April 19th, we had bullish signals on all the time frames and potential signals on the weekly and the daily, and then started to get this follow through. And ever since that April 19th low, in fact, I think you can go back to our broadcast on the 22nd or the 23rd there, and we were looking at this potential major rotational point. We got the rotation, and then on the way up, we had two major areas of resistance. We had this 50 to 57, and we had this about 87 to 92 area. And sure enough, they came right to the 50 to 57 area, even hit right into 50 a couple times to the tick, and then right up in front of 57 here, and then we got this major tumble, only to bounce right at the 61.8 retrace of this leg from the low of April 19th, to come back up, and then come right up into and this, actually I'm mixing them up. So we had this one here from 25 to about 30 there, came right into it and failed and held the 61.8 on the first retest, the first retracement of the leg, and then popped up a little further and came into our second expected resistance, retraced and bounced right at the 61.8 again. And then we even got this beautiful double bottom here with a beautiful 4-hour bullish signal there. That was a huge clue. In fact, if you were here on the morning of May 3rd, the report said we had some good clues that this was going to be an attempt for a push higher, and sure enough went ahead and popped out, got through our next area of major resistance, and then continued to push here. If we were to zoom in to the next expected resistance area, they came up, and we're going to take a look at this on May 6th. They came right to the bottom end of our area here, and for 3 or 4 hours just could not break through, could not break through, could not break through, and then finally got above it and then pushed to new highs. So there were some beautiful failures right off our expected areas of resistance. And then this one, we were in a strong push, but you can see that for 4 hours here, they came right to our scaffolding level and just could not break through. So let's see some of the detail here. This is back on Thursday. We started this nice stair step up, bouncing 2 points in front of our roadmap level, then holding this one to the tick, then holding this one and kind of pressing up to come up into the overnight session. And let's see here. Let's move over. I'm not going to concern ourselves too much with the overnight. So we came in on Friday here, and Friday looked like this. We had a nice little healthy pullback and then held right off our scaffolding level here for 3 clean tests of that area, only to bounce out and push up to find resistance right at the next scaffolding level, which if you see at the beginning of the day, they tried to get up through it, and then that failure happened and we came down and bounced down at the lower scaffolding level. And then in the overnight session there, they came right up to our next roadmap level and got the pullback, right? Only to hold right off the scaffolding level at 57 again, which was a lot of resistance from the previous day. Right, so that brings us here into this week now, and here is May 6th, and like I said, we kept coming up right into our scaffolding level here and just holding for a while, finally breaking out from there, coming up to fail nearly to the tick off our roadmap level up here, and then finally pushing all the way to the end of the day and the high of the day, our next roadmap level for the pullback again. And then let's pull this back here. And then as you can see in the overnight session, still having a lot of trouble at that roadmap level. Trouble. And then we got the breakout only to fail off our next roadmap level at 52.19. So I mean, it's just been kind of beautiful stair step up our levels, and then every time we get into one of our support and resistance or our scaffolding levels, we typically find we get these nice healthy pullbacks, and sometimes they turn into major rotations like we saw on the higher time frame. So there's been a lot of great price action over the last couple of days. You even got this beautiful hold all morning back on May 6th, I want to say here, 2 days ago. On Monday, I believe this week, we got all this trouble off our scaffolding level, trouble, and then bam, we come in, we get a nice test of the VWAP there with some divergence. In fact, a beautiful little local 512 divergence right off the VWAP, and then you got this opportunity to buy this breakout. You could either bought the VWAP, you could have bought the pullback to the 200 there on both tests there with divergence, and you could have taken your runner all the way up to the next resistance, and you would have nailed the high of the day, right? So, or the high of the morning there. So that brings us here into the overnight session from yesterday, and now you can see we're continuing to push ever since that April 19th low back, 2-3 weeks ago now, and we're still riding up. Held the close of the day before and the 200 here in the pre-market, bringing us into yesterday. So this was yesterday's market, and yesterday's market, once again, the market opened, got a pullback right off of our scaffolding level. Then the bulls defended VWAP there, in fact held it to the tick here in this instance, and then the bulls tried to break out to push to new highs. Remember yesterday's news report, I said it looked like they were going to try to push, and sure enough, what happened was they had trouble at the scaffolding level, pulled back, held VWAP, got through it, then held it to the upside here, trying to hold for the continuation up to the next area of resistance. But then what happened? They peaked up, and then that was it. We got a nice healthy pullback yesterday, coming down to bounce right at the previous daily close, and then come up and parry right off our scaffolding, right? So scaffolding was trouble all morning. They got above it, tried to hold above it here pretty discreetly, and then right at the end of the day, it comes up and tags it once again for the pullback going into the close. And now here we are coming into the open, and we had this nice spike up, right, coming up to new highs, and now here we are correcting a little bit coming into the pre-market this morning. So I know that was a little bit scattered. I probably could have done it a little bit better there, but some of those decent rotations over the last week or two, since I haven't been here to do our review every morning. Now I believe it's time for us to go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and see what the charts are saying for this morning. So